Like many of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, people keep talking long after the credits are rolling, speculating on story, diving into big twists, and starting all kinds of movie theories in the process. It's no different in Glass, the shattering end to the unexpected Unbreakable trilogy. Check out some of the craziest fan theories from the movie, learn which ones actually make sense, and naturally, we will be diving deep into a water tank of Glass, Split, and Unbreakable spoilers, so be ready. Nearly 19 years apart from Unbreakable, one of the hardest things to believe about Glass is that M. Night Shyamalan had this whole trilogy planned all along. Now, whether things were adapted from small details and retconned into the story, or M. Night is a cinematic genius, is a debate for another day. But there's no denying all of the small details which help connect the whole trilogy together. One of the biggest theories to come from seeing Glass and Unbreakable is the setup of the final showdown between David Dunn and the Beast. The big lead up to their fight could have been figured out years and years ago, just by looking at the cover of a comic book. Let's flash back for a moment. In Unbreakable, Mr. Glass breaks his arm as a child. He shelters inside his house, and the only way for his mother to get him to go outside is by putting a present on a bench for him to go and retrieve. He ventures out and opens the present. It's a comic book. What may seem like an ordinary comic at first could actually represent the feature face-off between David and the Beast. On the cover of the comic, we see two fictional supers, the Slayer and Jaguaro. The Slayer wears a green superhero outfit, the color of choice for David Dunn, while Jaguaro is mainly in yellow, the Beast's theme color as seen through many of the clothes and outfits he wears in both Split and Glass. The Slayer is clearly a hero with superhuman strength much like David, and Jaguaro displays the characteristics of the Beast. Who can forget the scene in Glass when the Beast runs on all fours across the hospital green? Clearly, M. Night has been setting up this story for years, using the comics as a look into the future. Another key moment in the scene is Mr. Glass's mother telling him the comic has a surprise ending, something M. Night is notorious for. Well, the battle between the Beast and David certainly did have a huge surprise. The Beast gets transformed back to Kevin and has a fatal gunshot into his stomach, while David gets drowned in a puddle. We still can't believe we're saying that. So the surprise is that neither the hero nor the villain win. Both characters die without a clear triumph. The color themes M. Night Shyamalan uses for the trilogy of films is clearly done for a lot more than just nice visuals. Each super in his movies have a clear color scheme, made even more obvious than the red object scenes in The Sixth Sense. Along with David's green and the Beast's yellow, there's Mr. Glass and the color purple. Along with his stylish and signature purple suits, purple tissue paper was used to wrap his comic book, and you can find it in many of the scenes he appears in. But keen-eyed viewers of Glass may have noticed a fourth color. Yep, just one short of the Power Rangers, and the color is pink. The devious Dr. Ellie Staple has a color scheme all her own, pink. Watch the film again to see pink clothes and pink details scattered throughout the movie. But what does her color scheme actually mean? Well, according to some theories, the fourth color makes Ellie Staple the fourth super in the movie. Now, of course, Ellie may not fly through the air, display super strength, or have laser beams coming out of her eyes, but those aren't really the types of superpowers M. Night has showcased in his trilogy anyway. Ellie's powers are mental powers, making her the antagonist and opposite of Mr. Glass. The synergy and connection of a fourth super makes sense considering how the battle has been set up. David and the Beast battle using their physical strength and durability. Mr. Glass uses mental manipulation and his mind to create superheroes. As stated in all three movies, every hero has their direct opposite. And for Mr. Glass, it's Ellie. While Glass has created supers like David and the Beast, Ellie's main mission in the Black Clover Society is to destroy them. Both characters use their mental prowess to attempt this. In Glass, the extended sequence where Ellie talks with all three main supers showcases her mental powers of placing doubt into these people's minds, making them think their powers are not real and they may not be super at all. And it nearly works. The many identities of Kevin begin to doubt his powers, and David even questions his a little as well. But we're not exactly sure what he's thinking thanks to the stone-faced Bruce Willis. Ellie's true fight is with Mr. Glass, but they both use the other supers to test out their powers. In many ways, Mr. Glass helped David and the Beast find their true powers by creating the train crash. David survived the crash unharmed, while Kevin's father died. leading to even more distress and growth of his DID, eventually creating the beast we come to see in Split. But if Ellie is a super, then how is she a part of the Black Clover Society? Well, she does this on purpose, to keep her powers hidden and prevent society from going after her. Her interest and focus on people who think they're heroes have been established from her own mind manipulation tricks in the first place. Both Mr. Glass and Ellie prove that being a super can be just as much about mental powers as they are about physical powers. Completing the connection to the four heroes helps drive Mr. Glass's story and lead to a little redemption, no matter how many terrible acts he did in the past. His ultimate goal was to shine a light on the heroes, while Ellie wanted to keep them shrouded in darkness. And looking at the trilogy of movies so far, each title has represented a hero. There's David's Unbreakable, Kevin's Split, and Mr. Glass's simply titled Glass. But is there more to the nickname Mr. Glass than meets the eye? His real name is Elijah Price, and in Unbreakable we learn the Glass nickname was given to him by other children after he breaks his arm at school. While the nickname is an obvious connection to his fragile body and type 1 osteogenesis imperfecta he suffers from, could there be more to the nickname than we realize? After suffering so many broken bones and injuries, why would Mr. Glass use a nickname originally used to taunt him? Simple. He has used the name to represent something much bigger, turning him into the anti-hero no one expected. The reason he goes by Mr. Glass is because he has made the world see more clearly. His goal is not for rumors, cover-ups, or hidden powers. He wants everyone to see heroes as clear as day for the powers they possess and the abilities which make them so extraordinary. This is why he went out of his way to try and make heroes realize their true potential. This is why he caused a huge train crash. He wanted to see heroes rise up, no matter what other deaths got in the way. And in Glass, this point is made even further with the subplot of the giant skyscraper, the skyscraper we never actually got to see. His whole goal was to have David and the Beast battle at the skyscraper in front of thousands of people, so it could be proven once and for all that heroes would exist. If he accomplished this mission, it would have been as clear as glass. There are a lot of special people in the world, people with enhanced abilities and powers. And while we never got to see a Die Hard-styled skyscraper battle with David and the Beast, Mr. Glass did accomplish some of his mission. At the end of Glass, the video surveillance footage gets released to the masses, allowing people to clearly see that some of these powers do exist. It may not have been on the same grand scale, but his journey from Mr. Glass the villain to Mr. Glass the anti-hero was complete, and that fact is as clear as day. While developing the movie and Mr. Glass's story arc, did M. Night Shyamalan have time to reflect and impose the story of his own personal journey? Well, according to a Reddit theory, this is exactly what he did with the movie. Having nearly 2 decades between Unbreakable and Glass certainly helped things, and some viewers have found connections and metaphors between M. Night's own career, which has been filled with plenty of ups and downs. Let's start with his big break in the movie industry, The Sixth Sense. The instant hit was a massive box office success, featured a groundbreaking twist ending, and set up a promising career for the young director. After The Sixth Sense, he followed it up with Unbreakable and Signs, 2 well-reviewed movies, each with some plot twists of their own. Basically, M. Night probably felt like a superhero after these films, a powerful Hollywood director with huge acclaim. You see what we're getting at, right? In the beginning of Glass, David is riding high on his superhero gimmick. He goes on walks, bumping into people, seeing their darkest secrets, and being a hero to many within his city. He's well-liked and at the top of his game. And then this is where the doubt seeped in. Just like Dr. Ellie made David and the Beast doubt their own powers, so did the critics and fans of his movies. When The Village, Lady in the Water, and The Happening were all considered failures, M. Night's career seemed to be going downhill. Did the director doubt himself or his legacy as a filmmaker? Probably. You cannot deny the success of movies like The Sixth Sense or Signs, just like you cannot deny the powers that the Beast or David have. We've seen their extraordinary powers on film before, but Ellie is able to make them doubt it anyway. We know M. Night is capable of making a smart, suspenseful film with a clever twist and an engaging story. After the backlash from other film releases, M. Night may have started feeling that same doubt. More box office bombs in the form of After Earth and The Last Airbender probably didn't help much either. He tried to take on other genres with little to no success, especially compared to his earlier works. But much like the third act where David, the Beast, and Mr. Glass rise up again, so does Shyamalan. He puts the doubters and critics behind him to do what he does best, and his career takes an upswing. First, there's The Visit, a film which harkens back to some of his more grounded and simple stories, filled with plenty of thrilling moments. Then he truly transforms back into the filmmaking beast with the release and massive success of Split. Even before everyone knew about the Split twist ending, the movie was a great standalone film. The plot itself was a unique twist on the kidnapping horror genre, and James McAvoy helped elevate the film to whole new levels with his unforgettable performance. Now, whether you enjoyed Glass or not, M. Night seems to have prevailed above the critics and over-analysis of his career. So, does the Unbreakable trilogy represent the true career of M. Night? Well, it's definitely part of his legacy, and beside The Sixth Sense, they will probably go down as some of his most well-known movies. There's definitely a lot of self-reflection that goes into his filmmaking process, and seeing the journey through his eyes definitely opens up a lot of new theories. We want to hear all of your Glass theories. Did you enjoy the film? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to ScreenRant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. Thanks for watching.